Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday. There's no case of the Mondays today. We got an excellent trading battle for everybody. We have two master chart readers, two masters of order block analysis. I have with me today Ray Vernon, who's been with us before. Hey,
How's
Ray.
it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
We have his partner in crime here, Dustin Kirkwood, who works with him.
Going?
And I guess Ray was your mentor until the student became the master at this point. Is that the story?
Yeah, he started I think teaching me in 2016, and it took me years to really figure things out until I get everything on a path that I needed to, because I didn't understand psychology, but he started telling me about psychology, started looking into that, and that's what really helped my journey go onto it. But I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for him, in all honesty.
Very nice to say. Now you should be able to kick his butt as we start. So gentlemen, good to see you both. You guys are pretty much, you call yourselves technical gods.
Yeah.
Because you're clearly practitioners of technical analysis. But I'm just curious, do you look at news at all? Do you pay attention to the calendar? Does fundamental macro background at all, play a factor in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis? How does it work for you?
Definitely. So we do pay attention to news. We actually love it because it brings volatility into the market. But we believe that it goes along with technicals, as in we don't think that, the news is going to completely eradicate our trade analysis, if that makes sense. The only news that we do not pay attention to at all is NFP and FOMC. But we love all the other ones like CPI.
The only news you do not pay any attention to now? That's the two of the most important newses. How do you not pay attention to that?
No, I pay attention to it, but I mean, I don't trade it.
Oh, I see.
We're not trading.
You know why you step away from that news? Because it's the only news that will completely contravene all your technical analysis. Because
correct.
That will blow up any chart out there, because it is the most market moving. And also, I guess at this point, I wonder, do you stand back from CPI data, because that's become?
Oh no, we love CPI.
Yeah, that's our favorite right there.
Our last CPI news, we both caught it. He trades odd USD, I trade Euro USD, and we both caught the move. It was like 80 pip move with a 5 pip stop loss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are ridiculously skewed odds.
Yeah, they were like it was like 1 to 27 on AU. I think that last month and the month before, they were both really high risk rewards. And it was just, you can see from how the analysis adds up that it'll let you know what CPI is going to do. I know that sounds a little funky, but it really does add up. Like, you'll see right before the news comes out, price is going to be at a certain level and give you a certain transition. And it really helps us out a lot with seeing how that transition moves, and it's paid out.
Really? So, you were showing me a little bit before the show how prices transform or transition from one sort of flow to another. Maybe you could just take us through, like, your basic read of the chart and how you catch that primary move.
Gotcha.
You want to share your chart with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
first of all, explain to us what this chart is and what are we looking for?
This is Australian dollar, US dollar. This is the main pair that I do trade. I really don't trade any other pair. I kind of stick to one, and this is the pair that I choose. I really like the way that it moves. It's pretty smooth. It has its choppy times, but for the most part, AUD/USD has the tendency to move with a very low stop loss. So that's what helps us really being able to capitalize off of it. Now, one thing that I look for is at session levels. I like to look at the TGFX session indicator that we do use.
So what is this indicator that we're looking at here? It seems to have lots of colors and lines.
Now, this is the session indicator, and it also lets us know. So this purple zone is my Asian session. This green zone is London, and this gray little box is my New York session. So it also kind of goes in confluence with everything right here.
Why is New York session so small?
This is my trading window. Those are the 2 hours that I trade. I only trade the first 2 hours of New York session.
So if we were on New York time, what would be your window of the New York session? Like, what New York times do you trade?
5 a.m. PST to 7 a.m. PST.
Okay, so it's
like the first 2 hours.
8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Basically, the New York Open. The New York Open is what you trade. And so then prior to that, the green is the London, and the
Exactly.
pink is Asia, and then after that you're done. You kind of
Exactly.
done. Okay.
Yep.
So then we have like all these lines over here. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to close my door, guys. I'll be right there.
No worries.
Okay, I'm in the show, guys. Please keep everybody quiet. Sorry. My dog went off as usual. My little Pomeranian. Okay, so we have Asia previous high. Now, previous high from where? Is that from Friday?
Yeah, this is going to be the previous session from yesterday's market open. So this is when the market opened from this gap, and this is going to be the Asian session after the market opened up, and this is the high point of that session.
Okay, so this is the high point of Asia, Monday Asia, Sunday night to us in New York. Okay,
yeah,
and then London
It's going to be right
high
here.
is right there, right?
Yep.
And then we have
So we
the
have Asian's low. We have New York's high. This is this is right here right now because of the main window that I do have it at. But since I don't trade any other session, I don't really utilize this one in any other session because I'm not trading Asian session to look at New York's high. I kind of mainly just utilize, like the way I like to utilize the indicator is in this case scenario, we have this bearish continuation order block. Now that we can see was created in London session. That was London's high point. We have that creation of that order block being created. And in New York session, this is when we're getting the retest of this order block and also this session level. So
but that retest happens after your window of trade, no?
Yes, sometimes that does happen in those occasions because today I didn't take a trade because I didn't get to my significant level of supply. So there's certain times if I just don't get to my level of supply or demand, I just simply won't take the trade.
So assuming you this happened within your time frame window, what would be the setup here? What would you be looking to do? This is so we're looking at hourly candles.
Mhm.
This candle, for example, that green candle over there obviously fails at the London previous high.
Yeah, now this wick right here, I actually love when this happens. Now, the reason why I like when that happens is because that's showing me that we have grabbed the orders that are sitting above this order block. And if you see this long wick, that's showing me that price is still looking to head to the downside. So that's why I personally do really like when we have overshoots like that. Some will call it overshoots, order consumption. I like when that happens because that's like letting me know this is the highest point on this transition that I can catch. So if we go to the 1 minute time frame and look at that transition, because what I like to always see and what I've noticed is you can tell what price is going to do when it runs these order blocks, if it's going to continue or if it's going to transition. Seeing how we run London's high, we run the liquidity of this order block, and then immediately go into bearish order flow. So instead of us maintaining bullish, bearish, bullish, now we're maintaining bearish, bullish, bearish, and we're starting to take out low points. We have like a shoulder, head, and shoulders. We have the quasi.
What would compel you to enter a trade? Given like you're looking at that chart, where would you enter?
For this one, I like to have the counter trend line. If the counter trend line is one of my favorites with the order blocks, because when I see the counter trend line being broken, it's kind of just an easy sense of, okay, I'm seeing that we're now from this buy side, we're in this sell side of the market, and now we're getting the retest of these order blocks. We have this little X-ray order block here with this engulfing variation. We get the retest and rejection, and this would have been my main entry point because we already did get the block flow transition, the counter trend line being broken. We have order consumption of the order block. So now I'm getting much more of you can see just much more of what's happening within this trade. So that would be a 6.8 pip stop, and the rest will be history on this one.
Sorry, where's your stop at the height of that at 23.7, basically the high of that move? Yeah.
Because usually I always place my stop at the highest or lowest point of the transition. Okay. That's where I like to put my stop because I notice it's the safest spot to have your stop loss.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right, guys, we got to get to our show. We want to put some trades on. So today,
let's do it.
What is your favorite indicator? I'm going to ask Ray here. What's your favorite indicator, and how would you trade it?
Definitely. So I would have to, of course, say the TGFX indicator. I trade session levels as well. But today, I'm actually going to be using another one of my indicators. Or I'm sorry, I didn't create this one, but it's one of my favorite indicators. It's called MTF candles. And basically what it does is it shows you candles on a different time frame. So since I trade the lower time frame, such as the 1 minute,
right,
what we can do is almost have X-ray vision on the charts while we stay on the 1 minute time frame. So
Wait, sorry. So what is this? This green candle? Is it like a 1 hour candle? Like what is the highs and lows of that candle?
well, so that's the cool part. You can actually change it to the resolution you want. So you can change it to
Oh,
any time frame you'd like. So for an example, the way I use this is by understanding what a move on the lower time frame equals on a higher time frame. So let's take this impulse right here. Let's turn this off, from this low up to this high, and then from this high down to this low here. Now we can see we obviously broke a structure here, but on this time frame, it looks like a full market structure transition. If we use the MTF candles and go to a higher resolution, it'll then just turn into a bearish engulfing candle.
okay.
So for an example,
Is that going to give you more confidence to get short there?
correct, because if we can understand where the base of that bearish engulfing candle is, for an example, in this case, we have the green candle that gets engulfed by the bearish candle. We have the wick low of that green candle, which means that we want to see price come back and fill in the imbalance, number one. And then also, we would want to see price basically come back and retest the base area of that candle. So as we can see, price perfectly came back and retested it. And if I turn off the indicator now, this bullish candle trading back up into it would have been a perfect entry that we may not have perceived if we were just looking at the 1 minute time frame.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Interesting. So what type of contrast do you use between 1 minute and what's your favorite longer term time frame to encapsulate this in? Do you look at 15-minute hourly candles? What's the contrast you like to get at?
I would definitely say 15-minute is a good in between. It's like an intermediary for the very low time frames, such as the 1 to 5 minute, and then also for the 30-minute and 1 hour. So I would say I go from probably 1 minute to 5 minutes to 15 and 1 hour the most.
Okay, 1 minute to 5. So can you just cycle me through 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, just to see how you would look at this?
Sure. So we're on the 1 minute time frame right now.
Right.
And
overlaid with 5 minutes.
Correct. MTF candles on the 5.
Right. 8 overlaid with and then overlaid with 15 and then overlaid with 1 hour.
Yeah. So what I would do though is every time frame that I switch to, I'm checking to see the candlestick patterns. I'm checking to see rejections. I'm checking to see if we're running, the sell side liquidity, or basically we had this support level, right? This was the wick low of that support, but it got taken out by this wick. So that's telling me that the sellers are still in strength. So I'm looking for all these different clues as I'm switching through these time frames. So now when I go to the 15-minute, I would see what the candlesticks are saying. So, okay, cool. This one made a long wick rejection to the top side. It traded back down to a level of demand. But on the lower time frame of the 1 minute, we have a bearish, bullish, bearish continuation order block, which means that we could see a retest and continuation. So it's kind of like giving you.
So when you guys talk about the word order block, it's literally just a combination of candles.
Correct. Yeah.
I see. It's just a sequence. It's a sequence of candles that then creates an order block. Okay. Yeah. So given this indicator, what trade would you like to make with this particular indicator today?
All right, let's see what we got here. So actually, let's do the 15-minute here, and then I'm going to use the MTF candles. Okay. And since this is for me, like basically starting the new day's session, I'm going to have to use a higher time frame.
Okay.
So if we go to the 8 hour, for example, here, we can see that price action just closed a bearish engulfing candle or a bearish order block.
That's negative. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely be looking potentially for shorts. We can go ahead and cycle up as well to the daily just to see what we have there. And we close with the long wick to the top. We did run the liquidity on this wick over here. So I would anticipate that we'll see more downside pressure. So I would be looking for a short on this.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So it's a short on the euro, given your indicator. Okay. What about you, Dustin? What would be the trade you'd make given your indicator right now?
Overall, with us sitting at the previous daily low, but us also trading underneath Asians low, Asians high, and looking also at the order blocks that are being created, I will be also going short on AU at this moment. Now, the reason being is because, one, we have a lot of continuation. You look at the 45, we already got a bearish, bullish, bearish continuation order block. So I'm not going to necessarily trade against that. We did get the bullish engulfing on the hour 1, but the wick on the top with the continuation order block on the 45 is just giving me that confidence to want to continue taking it short. Now, if we want to go to the hour 4, we do have liquidity underneath us that price looking at is already heading to. So I feel like when price wants to push up, it's going to want to take out this liquidity first. So I feel like, price has a higher chance of
what
potentially
happens,
taking out.
what happens when you're entering in, you're approaching those levels of liquidity? Do you assume that those liquidity will be broken, or that liquidity is going to hold? I mean, how do you trade it at those?
Now, since I'm selling it, I want to see that liquidity ran, but I know once that liquidity's ran, we can have a pullback and a take profit event. So I'm currently, since we haven't had that take profit event yet, we did run this liquidity here, but we still have a lot of bearish pressure. So that's why I'm not going to go against that.
You're basically fully prepared for a retrace here, you're saying, because they're going to take some, because since they ran liquidity, now they're going to be a little profit short covering, a little bit of push up.
Yeah, now that's one thing I'm thinking. But now since we have the 45 bearish, bullish, bearish, we have the 8-hour and bearish, bullish, bearish engulfing as well. We still have a lot of bearish pressure. So that's
a lot of selling pressure. A lot of selling pressure into the Asia Open. Okay,
exactly.
So you short Aussie, short Euro off your indicators. Now we have like our favorite part of the show, because it puts randomness into a whole new level. We call it the Wheel of Fortune. Everybody gets to play, and this is going to take you a little bit out of your comfort zone, because not only do you have no choice of what you're going to trade, but you have to choose instruments that you generally don't trade. So you had a chance to analyze those. So we'll start with Ray. Press Control Enter, and we'll see what it will stop on.
All right, cool.
If it stops on Euro, I'm not going to let you play it.
It's meant to be. Oh, it was close. It was close.
So it's interesting. S&P, because I trade equities, so this will be interesting to see what you think about the S&P.
All right, let's see here.
Yeah, there we go. That's cash, S&P cash, right?
Let's see.
Oh, you just had it. You just had it right there. Oh, there we go.
This one, right? Yeah. All right, cool.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty ugly chart today too. Definitely, we were just
it's not the best, but we'll make it work. All right, so let's start with the monthly. Actually, okay, cool. We're on it. All right, so we did have like sell pressure pushing down into this level. We did run the liquidity there, but I can also see that we had a level of demand sitting here. So like if I switched up to maybe, let's say the 2 or 3 month, that turned into a level of demand for us, and we can see a long wick to the bottom side here. So I would be looking for at least price action to trade outside of this candle's high. So I'll be looking for bullish momentum. Now, since we're switching down and we're like going to the daily time frame, I have to say this. Number one, I do think it'll be bullish, and I would want it to potentially push up from here, but we do also have this order block under us with a huge imbalance in price action that needs to eventually be filled in. So that's going to be a tough one today, just because I don't really trade this. I haven't been keeping up, but I'm going to go ahead and put in a buy on this.
All right, cool. All right, you're going to be very much alone, my friend, because there's been nothing but selling, but that's pretty good. You want to be alone, because maybe we'll do a bounce. Okay, interesting. So you long S&P off your order block analysis, we'll let you buy that. And let's go to Dustin. Let's see what Dustin is going to. So Dustin, your turn to spin the wheel. And also, if you get the S&P, I'm going to make you spin it again, because no fair. Oh, pound, everybody's favorite currency. Oh, you just escaped the pound, my friend. You kids
gonna get me on you, Jay, huh?
By the skin of your teeth. All right. So you get to trade the yen, which has actually been an awesome currency to trade. Well, I don't know. You guys trade the yen at all, or you guys just really stick only to Aussie and Euro?
I never really trade the yen, so this is going to be the first time for me.
The yen is like it's like saying, trying to think. It's like not never having a hamburger. It's the most FX of FXy trades at this point. But it's interesting. Okay. So yeah, so you can see, look at the yen. You can't, the move is so big you can't even get it on your scales, right?
because we do have a lot of bullish pressure.
That is what's known as a one-way trend in FX. But I'm just curious to see what now we're really seeing a lot of two-way price action. So I'm just interested to see how your order block analysis deals with this.
Most definitely. So I'm just going to scroll through the time frames. I do see that we are currently within a bearish, bullish, bearish. So that's one of the things that I am looking at.
Mm-hmm. Now this is where we're on 3 hour. Why you use 3 hour time frame? What's so special about that?
I just went to the 3 hour because the 4 hour is not clear. If I don't see clarity, I just scroll through the time frames until I find clarity. And I understand that the macro, because we separated from macro and micro. So 2 hour, 3 hour, and 4 hour and up is all macro, and hour and below is micro. So if I don't find clarity on one macro, I go to the next.
That's really, really interesting. Okay. That's
so the way that this looks,
three and up is macro, and one and down is micro. That's a very interesting way of looking at things. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, we did. I'm gonna have to short UJ.
Okay, you're gonna have to short. Yeah, well, it's definitely a negative risk environment into Asia, and I'm sure when Asia opens up, you're gonna get your move, at least for a few moves. Now, imagine if this was like real trade. I had a gun to your head. So we have this. So here's the thing, though. You don't always get your risk reward, right? Clearly, you have an entry. What happens if do you guys manage your trades? What happens if it goes 20? If it goes one hour, do you sell half? Do you do anything to the trade, or is it's got to be like 5 hour or die? No sleep till Brooklyn kind of trades.
You want to take it first, Dustin?
I like to go for the 1 to 3s. And now for me personally, I stopped taking trades like moving my stops or something like that at 1 to 1s and 1 to 2s.
Wait, so what happens in 1 to 1? Do you move your stop? Do you do anything? Do you just let it
I just let it go. Like if I enter the trade, I know why I entered and I know where where it could potentially go.
Right.
Because I've had experience of me getting stopped out and it's still going to my target.
Well, we all do so basically you do not even consider trade management until you're 1 to 3 in the money.
Exactly.
Okay, and then if you're 1 to 3 in the money, what do you do? Do you go to break even? Do you go to plus?
I go to break even and then I take partial. So if I hit the 1 to 3, I like to take a majority of my trade out, somewhere around 50 to 80% of my trade out, and just let the rest run. Right. So I get a majority of that 1 to 3, and then the rest just goes. And then once that happens and I'm break even, I don't really worry about it. If it goes, it goes. If it comes back, I got another day.
What about you, Ray? How's your trade management structure?
Yeah, very similar. So I'll give a little background on why we actually take profits at 1 to 3 as well. So if we consider the stop loss size, let's say we risk 1%. So 1R risk, right? If it goes for 1 to 3, that means we're up 3%. So if we take partials of, let's say 33%, that means the amount we partialed out equals our stop loss. Mm-hmm. So technically we don't even have to move to break even, because if we get stopped out for the full stop loss, it's still break even. So that's the reason we do that. And we also back tested it and figured out that by holding to 1 to 3, we actually are way more profitable than if we, try to do trade management too early, especially since we're on the lower time frames. It's easy for price to try to come back on us.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. Anytime it's always, we always learn that risk. It sounds really, really good to move to break even until you get stopped out for nothing all the time.
Yeah, so you gotta let the trade breathe.
I call it kissing your sister trade, basically, where nothing. You spend all this time and you get nothing out for it.
Definitely. Really quickly on SPX, I was not able to place the trade.
Oh, okay. You want to make sure that it was on ACAP. Maybe it was.
Yeah, it was ACAP. It said the market was closed.
Oh, the market was closed. I'm so sorry. You're right. Yeah. We are Chicago time. Welcome to the world of equities. Equities pause for 1 hour in Chicago between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock New York, or 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock Chicago. Basically, Chicago shuts down because they still, like in the 19th century, they need to restart their servers. They have a guy in the basement, reloading the coal. But no, that's what they just like. It's actually a good thing. It kind of pauses everybody to just chill out, and then we're going to reopen at 6. So you'll be able to short at 6 o'clock, or we'll put the trade in for you.
Cool.
This kind of takes us now to the final trade, which is a little bit longer. Now, you guys pretty much trade intraday, I believe, correct? Right? That's most of your focus. Although you look at big charts, but you trade intraday.
Correct.
So this time, we're going to ask you to place a trade for the next 7 days. Something that you confident enough that 7 days from now you think is going to be higher or lower? What would you like to do? And then, and again, you can't just look at the Aussie. You got to give me something something else that that looks good, because I know that's your specialty, but the whole idea is to take you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
So we go for anything random, pretty much.
Yeah, you can go anything random, or anything that looks good for you on the charts. I'll start with Ray. Let's see if Ray has any ideas of what looks good to you for 1 week forward.
All right, cool. So right now I have pulled up the DXY, and the DXY is the dollar index. It's the exact opposite correlation to Euro USD. So if this is pushing up, Euro is pushing down. And at the moment, looking at the monthly, we've had a nice rejection. But if we go down to the weekly time frame, we do look like we made a rejection off of a level of demand. So I would be looking for us to push up a bit more on the DXY, which means that basically all USD pairs I would want to rise, and all blank USD pairs I'd want to fall a little bit.
So here's a little secret tip for you guys. If you're trading the Dixie and you can't trade the Dixie because it's not really well traded, you can use dollar Swiss, and it's like a 95% substitute.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
So you could use dollar Swiss. So if you're bullish dollars off the Dixie, you probably should be bullish dollar Swiss at this point.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. That's the old trick from the thing. But that's interesting. So basically, you're long dollars. Basically, that's your view for the next 7 days. That's your best trade.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Dustin? What's looking good to you?
I'm gonna go for US 30.
Oh,
I gotta go for US 30.
Now you're playing in my ballpark. Okay, all right. That, by the way, looks like that chart looks horrible right now. I can't believe. So wait, are you going to go long on this thing?
That's what I was thinking. In all honesty, just because of the order block that we had, I'm like, why not?
It's dying. It's ready to just roll over and keel over. But hey, that's interesting. So tell me why you want to go long.
Okay, so one, we are in an impulsive leg of structure on the weekly time frame. So we have consecutive bullish candles. So the previous daily low, we're overall still within that low.
Higher lows, right?
Yeah, so we're still maintaining bullish order flow. So I'm not going to go against that at this point. So if price decides to hold this order block, then that's going to be, where I'm going to look to take it. I just like the flow of it. It's still bullish. And I'm not going to go against it until price actually shows transition. It hasn't really showed transition. And since we're doing a longer hold, I'm going to be going strictly off the higher time frames. And I do like the way that the higher time frames look on this one.
Wow. All right. That's a very ballsy trade. All right. Super. So you're long US 30. Interesting trade. And Ray is going to be long the dollar index. We'll probably use dollar Swiss as a substitute for that. As a trade, and those are the trades. Excellent. So those are really, really good trades. Fascinating to see how you guys analyze the charts using order blocks and candle combinations, essentially, to find interesting pivots and points in the price action. We're coming up to the end of the show. Tell us a little bit about first of all, a little bit about what you guys do. You have a very, very humble name. You call yourself Technical Gods. So, tell me how did that name come to you? Was it was it inspired, right?
Yeah, it was definitely inspired. So the technical analysis part to it, of course, technical, but Technical Gods also correlated to me to more of like the mental and spiritual side of trading. I'm big on overall, I would say, like the deeper aspects of it, where you also have to learn how to manage your belief systems. You have to learn how to manage your emotions. You have to control the whole trading environment, if that makes sense, as much as you can. And you can't change what's going to happen in the markets, but you can change what happens eternally and how you process the information you see. So that was kind of like the inspiration behind the name.
I feel like, Ray, you could make a really good Buddhist monk. You have like that very, very positive Zen energy about you that you could just calm. You could calm a person, off of the Golden State Bridge. I have a feeling you could just knock them off. You have that nice,
I appreciate that.
I'm already relaxed just listening to you. So that's very, very cool. So that's how you guys came to the idea. Now, what about you, Dustin? You said you came into the market 216. Was it just by happenstance?
Well, I got into the markets from I started trading with IM Markets Live, And from iMarkets Live, that's when I met around with Ray. And he told me that he was trading. And when I told him I was with iMarkets Live, he was like, oh, you got to get out of that. You know, you got to come over here. And he went to show me, like, you know, how the market, like how he's viewed the markets. And it just made so much sense to me. I was like, that just makes sense. Like, why would I go against that? And ever since then, it's just been working at it. So then it went from me going from that, working at it, putting the work in, like when I put in the work in on the psychology side, on the technical side, because when I stopped working and I was like, you know, I'm gonna just put all my time into the markets, I was just like 8-9 hours a day of back testing from what I learned from Ray and from what he had on the course. So I was like just going through that, going through everything. And then it came to the point with, I believe, was it like about a year ago in October, you know, that's when I started actually kind of teaching the course, not the course, but teaching the craft to the students within the daily live analysis that we host Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
So we do that 4 days a week.
What time do you guys do your show?
We do daily live analysis every day from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. PST. And then we also do live trading from Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So we trade live every day.
You trade? Do you trade in Discord?
No, we actually have like a private Telegram, and then we send out a Zoom link every morning, and we basically trade live there.
Yeah. You know what? You know, I tried trading in Discord. Love Discord. We have a great Discord, but we had to go back to Zoom because, you know,
it's just simpler.
It's just simpler. Also, just the bandwidth is so much better. So before we go, tell us a little bit about the charity you guys. I think you guys are both trading for the same charity. Is that correct? And by the way, before I go, my producer is asking Dustin, for you to place the actually trades, and if you can't place them,
that's what I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, part of it. You know, some of the trades can't be placed because it's not 6 o'clock New York, and then we'll just place them post the show.
Gotcha.
But you guys are both trading for the same charity. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, no. One of you guys is trading for Starlight. The other one is trading for Big Life. So Ray, what are you trading?
Cool. Yeah, I'm trading for Starlight. So this is the same charity that I've been trading for the last times. Overall, what they offer is it's basically a charity that allows underprivileged kids or sick kids to get access to things that will cheer them up and give them an overall more positive outlook on life. So whether it's games, whether it's books, whether it's, you know, bringing somebody like a celebrity or somebody that person wanted to meet to the hospital to sit with them, it just overall brings inspiration to them to keep pushing and you know, fighting. So
that's great. That's really good. And what about you, Dustin? What's Big Life all about? Big Life Global.
So the reason why I chose them is because when they pulled the troops out from Afghanistan and all the people that are still left there and that are there's some people still that need food, that need water, or that even still need the transportation back to the States. They're pretty much going to be providing them the things that they need to get, you know, the help that they need, or even to get them back over to their homes.
Right. That's a, you know, very troubled part of the world, and I'm, you know, always glad to help it. And there's more trouble in that part of the world everywhere we go. So hopefully it gets better. Great charities, great chart analysis, guys. Been a real pleasure to hang out with you guys. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me on the channel again. I always enjoy, you know, hanging out and talking to you as well. So you can find me at RayVonFX on Instagram. On YouTube, we're Technical Gods. We have over 130 videos out now that you can see and watch. So yeah, you can find us there.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And, you know, if you want to learn more a little bit about order block technology or order block structure, it's probably a great place to learn.
Definitely for free.
And for free. Yeah, absolutely. Just wonderful, great stuff. So thank you very much, guys. We're going to keep tally on this. Everybody come back to us next week. Everybody who's watching us, super big finale for the year. We're going to have next week. It's going to be very special show. It's going to be tons and tons of the best traders. We're going to go head to head. So please be sure to watch the end of the year show. And in the meantime, a very big thank you to Ray and to Dustin. And may the charts be with you.
Definitely. Everybody, make sure you tune into the Trading Battle, the best YouTube channel.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.